Okay, welcome back to another Jag XJR update so soon after the last one. So I said last time that I was just going to kind of relax a little bit on this car now and just enjoy it for a while, and I think that was definitely the right decision because I definitely have been enjoying it. The Porsche is still away having some work done. It's been gone for like 4 or 5 weeks or so, and it's going to be another 4 or 5 weeks until I get it back. And it's just been great having some time with this car again. And I've basically been going to every single car show in my local area, which is something I don't normally do. And it's been great, I have to say. I even got over to Caffeine and Machine for the first time. That was really cool. He closed these windows. Sorry, it's a hot day and I haven't got aircon in here. So yeah, got over to Caffeine and Machine. Had a great time over there. You know, this car is very popular wherever it goes. But yeah, it's literally been it's been to the Barrington, my local sort of car show. It's been a lot of fun, and on top of that, I've got some new camera equipment now as well. I want to incorporate a few more sort of different angles, different shots in some of the videos, maybe some photography and stuff like that. I have been out quite a bit with the Jag recently, so I will slot in the sort of thing I've been doing, and hopefully in future videos I will kind of seamlessly slot in all of this stuff. But what this video is about is one of the Achilles heels basically of this car, which has always been grip. Because obviously you've got all the weights over the nose on this car, but you've got its rear wheel drive. So, I mean, and you know, it produces 540 Newton meters of torque at like 2,000 RPM or something silly. So, you know, you need really good tyres basically. But first, let's just look at what I had on this, and then we'll cut back to me with the new setup. So tyres then. So whenever people talk about tyres in the subject of the X306 or X300 XJR, people always talk about tram lining. It's a big thing with that particular model of car, and that is because primarily that platform, which you can trace its roots back to sort of 1986, was never really designed to be on larger wheels. So when they introduced the XJR, they stepped up to 17-inch and a 255 width on the tyre, and that introduced a little bit of tram lining. Tram lining is of course when the car will just follow the contours in the road and it will appear to kind of steer itself. So when I was looking for tyres for this a few years back, I was keen to get a tyre with a kind of a softer edge on here to try and reduce some of that tram lining characteristic, which is why I settled on these. So this is what my car has fitted now and has done for many years, including the track day at Donington. These are the Toyo Proxy Sport. It was noticed, I think, one of the limiting factors of the car on the track day was these tyres. What was happening was the weight of the car was like, you know, pushing down on the nose and over to the left hand side on this corner, and the tyre was kind of rolling over onto this shoulder. So you can kind of see what's happened on my car. There's quite a lot of feathering, and this resulted in essentially a ton of understeer on the day. It's now time for me to replace these. What I have gone with, the Yokohama Advan AD09. Now, these are not track tyres, these are road tyres. They have a tread wear rating of 200. The Toyos have a tread wear rating of 240. apparently that means that these are good for, you know, 30,000 miles plus. I've seen a number of blind reviews of these tyres versus road tyres and track tyres, and these will outperform on track the Michelin Pilot Sport 5s. They actually come very close in terms of lap times to a fully fledged track tyre. The other thing about these, which I was concerned about until I saw this, is the wet rating. As you can see, it's an A. And the other thing is, so going back to what I was saying about the Toyos, you know, a fairly soft tyre with a nice rounded shoulder. These, on the other hand, are a lot more aggressive and they're a hell of a lot stronger. So they've got a load rating of 102. They're built to be like a ludicrously strong tyre carcass. So that should just help the tyre support the weight of the car a little bit more. Obviously the XJR is quite heavy. Price wise as well, these are 160 per corner, which is on a par with the equivalent Michelin. And I already know these outperform the Michelins, so I think they represent good value. So in terms of price, grip, wet performance, they're kind of ticking a lot of boxes. In terms of downsides, I actually expect that a stronger, more aggressive tyre might reintroduce some of that tram lining. If it does improve the handling, then that's a price worth paying, but we'll have to see on that one. Okay, so how are my lovely new tyres? Well, this is purely sort of superficial and stuff, but I quite like the way they look. So now even the tyres, they draw attention. You know, people are always like, oh, they're all nice wheels and stuff like that, but now they go, oh, nice wheels, nice tyres, which is a bit odd, but you know, they do look pretty cool on the car. But what about the stuff that matters? Now, so I'll just close these windows up again so you can hear me. Basically, the thing that I was slightly concerned about, tram lining, it is back in a big way. So there's a definite increase in tram lining. Occasionally, you'll be driving down a straight bit of road and the car will just sort of veer off slightly. So it's very much a kind of two hands on the wheel now at all times kind of thing. But I think it is something that I'm just going to get used to, because it's not as if it's the first time that I've ever driven one of these cars with a similar setup. So I know what it's like. I can deal with it. So that's the first thing. And in a weird way, that was quite reassuring, because it means that these tyres have made a difference and they will make a difference. So for example, there's a corner here. Let me throw it in, see what it does. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, the car leans as it always has done. I think it's difficult in situations like this to really push the car and see if you're going to induce understeer, because of course you really need to be pushing like really hard to do that, and it's a little bit irresponsible of me to do that down a country, public roads basically. So I'm not really going to do that. This video, I'm making this 2 or 3 weeks into having these tyres, and whilst I haven't obviously had the car back on track yet, which I probably will do at some point now. Let me swing this round. That's great fun. But yeah, sorry. So I've been running this setup for a few weeks now. Turning is much better. And whilst I can't push the car to the limit on the public roads, what I can do, or what I have been able to do, is kind of take a few more liberties with the car, so like throw it around a little bit more. And I can do that because these tyres inspire confidence, basically. So I now have the confidence to, look, there's a bit of sharp corner coming up here. Let's throw it in, see what it does. Yeah, I mean, I could have gone around there so much faster. But what these tyres do is they inspire confidence, and if they inspire confidence, then that means, you know, they'll be pretty handy to have on a track day, because that's what you want. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can really do on the public road to upset them, basically. Whereas the Toyos, you know, if you took liberties with the car, if you weren't careful with that kind of weight transfer, which you have to be mindful of in such a heavy car like this, you would upset them. But now, let's see if we could get, yeah, see, look, you can just chuck it in, and the car still leans, but there's none of that additional kind of like washout that you get from the tyres as well. It just grips and goes, which is what it should be, which is what it should be like. This is not hypercar stuff. And as well, part of enjoying this car now, you know, push it a little bit more in the twisty stuff, knowing that now I've got a little bit more predictability, I've got more grip. Because of those tyres, they're not going to cave under the weight and the pressure that this car puts on tyres. So what I'm going to do now is just chuck it into this roundabout. Let's have a go at this. Here we go. Oh. There we go. I mean, you know, I am not the best driver in the world at all. I'm really not. But that, if I'd have done that on the Toyos, it would have been washing wide, and then as I come around the corner there and got on the accelerator, I would not have been 100% sure that the car would not then go into a bit of oversteer. But back there, at no point basically was there any danger of any shenanigans, to be honest. I know I've got the tram lining thing, which we spoke about, but again, you know, I've just been up a country road, hooning it around a bit and back. I had a fantastic time, and at no point have I been thinking, oh, I wish I had my old Toyo tyres back. So I think, yeah, ticking the box. If you've got one of these and you were wondering about the Yokohama Advan AD09s, we can declare that they are a good match for this car. As I say, ultimately the true test will be if I get this car back on track again. I do aim to do that, but I've got quite a busy summer as it is, so I might not get around to it this summer, but certainly next year I will do my best to carry on enjoying this car, as I have promised to do. I'll see you all again soon for more videos. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.